Hello student, today we will discuss about distinction between three different states of matter, that are solid, liquid, gas. First we will talk about these three properties. The first one is mass, volume and shape. If we are talking about solid, the mass of solid, volume of solid as well as shape of a solid is definite. Means all these three things are definite if we are talking about solid. And if we are talking about liquid, liquids have they have definite mass and volume, but as far as we are talking about their shape, the shape of liquid is not fixed. Shape is not fixed if we are talking about liquid. And if we are talking about gas, which is the third state of matter, the mass of gas is definite, but if we are talking about the volume and shape, so that is not fixed. In other words, we can say gases have definite mass, but their volume and shape is not fixed. That is not fixed. So we have three states on the basis of their mass, volume and shape. If we are talking about solid, solids have definite mass, definite volume and their shape is also definite. And if we are talking about liquids, liquids have definite mass, their mass is definite, but if we are talking about their shape, then the shape of the liquid is not fixed. It will take the shape of container in which it is placed. At the same time, if we are talking about gas, gases have fixed or definite mass, but their volume and shape are not fixed. Means they will take the shape of the container in which they are filled. The second property, if we are talking about, that is vacant space. This is the kinetic molecular picture or the diagram of solids. Solids have molecules packed tightly and the space between them is negligible. Vacant space is negligible if we are talking about solids. The molecules are packed tightly, that's why the free space between them is very less. And if we are talking about liquids, the molecules are far away from each other, that's why the space is large but not that much as in the case of gas. Liquids have vacant spaces large as compared to solids. And if we are talking about gases, the molecules are far apart from each other, that's why the vacant space between them is very high. So now the third point, packing of particles. So in solids, as you can see in the picture or diagram, the molecules are packed tightly. So we can say the molecules are packed tightly, or packing of particle is tight enough. They are packed tightly. And if we are talking about liquids, the molecules are not packed tightly, they are free. there is large vacant space as compared to solids. So in other words, we can say they are not tightly packed, not tightly packed as compared to solids. And lastly, we have gases. The molecules are loosely packed. They are loosely packed. They are far away from each other. Now the next property on the basis of which we are going to distinguish between these three states of matter is attractive forces. Solids have high attractive forces between molecules because they are packed tightly, and the liquids have lesser force of attraction as compared to solids. And if we are talking about gases, gases have negligible force of attraction between them. That's why they can move freely. The fifth point is density. Solids have high density and liquids have lower density as compared to solids. And if we are talking about gases, gases have very low densities. That's why they can float very easily. And diffusion, the next property is diffusion. Solids do not show the property of diffusion. Means they never move from high concentration to low concentration. They do not show the property of diffusion. Liquids show diffusion, but not very common. That is not a common property of liquid, but they show the property of diffusion. If you will add a drop of Dettol in a bucket full of water, then that liquid Dettol diffuses readily in whole bucket full of water. It means we can say liquids show the property of diffusion. And if we are talking about gases, gases show diffusion, and that is very common property of gases, that they can diffuse readily. If we are talking about mixing of two gases, that is only due to the diffusion property. Now the seventh point is free surfaces. Solids have number of free surfaces. As you can see, this is duster and it has lot of free surface. And if we are talking about liquids, liquids have only one free surface. You can see the bucket full of water. You will notice that only one free surface is present in liquids, and gases, they have no free surface. Now we are talking about compressibility. Compressibility means the ability to be compressed. As far as we are talking about solids, solids are not compressible. Means they do not compressed easily. And if we are talking about liquids, they can be compressed, and if we are talking about gases, gases are highly compressible. We can compress them very easily. Why solids cannot be compressed easily? Because the force of attraction between the molecule is high enough and the molecules are very close to each other. As the molecules are close enough, we cannot compress them. And if we are talking about liquids, they are far away from each other as compared to the molecules of solids. That's why they can be compressed, but they have their own limits. And finally, we have gases. The molecules are far away or far apart from each other. That's why they can be compressed very easily. And this is due to the large vacant space between them and very less force of attraction between them. Now the last point, that is example. As far as we are talking about a classroom, we have lots of solids in our classroom like chalk, we have duster, we have books, pen, etc. And if we are talking about liquids, the common example of liquid is water, we have oil, we have alcohol and many other substances which we are using in our day-to-day life. And gases, we have the example of gases like oxygen gas, nitrogen gas, carbon dioxide gas and many other gases. Now the next point is law of conservation of mass. The statement. According to law of conservation of mass, matter can neither be created nor be destroyed. It can be converted from one form to another. So this is the statement of law of conservation of mass. In other words, in chemistry we can say the law of conservation of mass, in short, that is mass of reactant or mass of total mass of reactants is equal to total mass of products. Now, what is the meaning of this short form of law of conservation of mass? Now we will understand by taking the example of formation of water from hydrogen and oxygen. So we have the balanced equation for the formation of water is twice H2, that is hydrogen, plus O2 is equal to twice H2O. Here H2 represent hydrogen gas, O2 represent oxygen gas and H2O represent water. Now we have to prove the statement or the formula of law of conservation of mass, that is total mass of reactants is equal to total mass of products. By keeping in mind hydrogen is equal to 1, that is the atomic mass of hydrogen, oxygen 16. Now first we have to calculate the total mass of hydrogen gas. 2 into 1 into 2, so that comes 4. The total mass of hydrogen gas is equal to 4. Now the mass of oxygen gas, that is 16 to the 32. In other words, we can say total mass of reactant is equal to 32 plus 4, that comes 36. And on the other hand, we have water molecule. We can calculate the molecular mass of water in this way: 2 into 2 plus 16, that comes 2 into 18 is equal to 36. Now you can notice the total mass of reactant, that is equal to 36, and total mass of product is also equal to 36. So that is all about the law of conservation of mass. You have to keep in mind the statement, and in our next video we will solve some numerical related to law of conservation of mass. Thank you.